Gordon Strachan's first starting 11 at Celtic. Where are they now? In goal was David Marshall. The Scottish stopper is the only player in this team that is still playing today, having joined Hull City last summer from Cardiff for a fee of up to £5 million. Marshall was in and out of the team as he competed with Eldin Jakupovic, with the Tigers eventually being relegated to the Championship. Marshall started in Hull's final game of the season, a 7-1 thrashing from Tottenham Hotspur, but I don't think that was his fault. At right back was Paul Telfer. The defender was one of Gordon Strachan's first signings as Celtic manager, who he acquired from his former club Southampton. Telfer retired from the game after 2 years with Celtic to spend more time with his family, but returned just 3 months later with Bournemouth. Telfer would retire again due to injury, but yet again returned to the game to join Leeds in 2008. He would go on to play for Slough Town and Sutton United before becoming assistant coach at Indy 11 in the North American Soccer League, but he was then released in June 2015. Centre-back was Stanislav VARGA. This was VARGA's final season with Celtic, and it got off to a shocking start in Strachan's first game, losing 5-0 to Artmedia Bratislava in VARGA's native Slovakia. He would return to Sunderland in 2006 before being released in 2008. Since then, VARGA has moved into management, taking charge of Odeva Lipiny in 2011 and most recently Tatran Presov, where he won promotion to the Slovakian top flight before leaving in 2016. He was alongside BOBO BALDE. A fan favourite at Celtic Park, BOBO BALDE spent 9 years in Glasgow after joining from Toulouse in 2001. After winning 5 league titles, 3 Scottish Cups and 3 Scottish League Cups, BALDE left in 2009 to join Valenciennes and then Arles Avignon, retiring in 2012. Declared bankrupt in 2009, BALDE began working as a team coordinator for Guinea after hanging up his boots. Left back was Mo Kamara. Another Gordon Strachan signing, Kamara spent just 1 season at Parkhead, where he eventually fell down the pecking order behind Ross Wallace and then Mark Wilson. He would leave for Derby in 2006 and then played for St Mirren and Torquay United before being released in 2010. 4 years later, Kamara was named Head of European Scouting at Derby County. Next up, it's Maciej Żurowski. The Polish forward scored 30 goals in 72 games for Celtic between 2005 and 2008, before heading to sunny Cyprus to play for Larissa. He returned to Wisła Krakow in 2010 for a year before retiring, and then came back to the game in 2013 to play for Poroniec Poronin, scoring 17 goals in 32 for the Polish Minnows. Żurowski has also worked as a scout for Wisła Krakow. In the middle was Neil Lennon. A Celtic legend, Lennon would hang up his playing boots in 2008 after briefly playing for Forest and Wycombe Wanderers following his Celtic exit in 2007. Lennon would enter the world of management in 2010, replacing Tony Mowbray as Celtic manager, winning 3 league titles and 2 Scottish Cups as gaffer. A brief spell with Bolton would prove to be unsuccessful, and Lennon is now manager of Hibs, who will be back in the Scottish Premiership next season. He was alongside Stiliyan Petrov. This was the beginning of Stan's final season at Celtic Park, handing in a transfer request in April 2006. He would join Aston Villa that summer, who were managed by former Celtic boss Martin O'Neill. Leukemia would sadly force Petrov to retire in May 2013, after being diagnosed a year earlier. He would remain with Villa as a coach but left months later. In 2014, Petrov played in a local over-35s league and then returned to training with Aston Villa last summer with the hope of securing a contract, but no deal was forthcoming. Next, it's Alan Thompson. Born in Newcastle, Thompson spent the majority of his career with Celtic, leaving in 2007 to join Leeds, retiring at the age of 34. Thompson has since moved into coaching, beginning at Newcastle under Kevin Keegan's management, and he would then work under Neil Lennon at Celtic. Thompson has since been following Lee Clark around, working with him at Birmingham, Blackpool and now Bury. Up top was John HARTSON. The Welshman spent 5 very successful years in Glasgow, scoring goals galore before returning to England in 2006 with West Brom. In 2009, HARTSON was sadly diagnosed with testicular cancer, which then spread to his brain and lungs. Despite being in a critical condition, HARTSON remarkably battled off his illness and is back in football, working as a pundit with the BBC and BT Sport. And finally, it's Chris Sutton. A Premier League winner with Blackburn, Sutton would follow up an unsuccessful spell with Chelsea with a move to Celtic, where he would have no problems rediscovering the goal-scoring touch. 6 months after Strachan's arrival, Sutton left the club though, joining Birmingham. Sutton tried his hand at management with Lincoln City in 2009, but would leave in September 2010 due to family reasons after keeping the Imps in the Football League. Nowadays, Sutton has moved into punditry and is trying his very best to be controversial on BBC and BT Sport. So that's where Gordon Strachan's first Celtic 11 are now. Let us know what you think in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe.